If you thought Marvel Studios and the MCU had a lot of movies, well then just imagine how many theories have come from all of them. Before you waste any more time scrolling through Reddit and looking for more insight on the latest Iron Man memes, let us break things down for you. We've gathered together some of the top Avengers Endgame theories, and check this out. A majority of them could be true. So don't worry, we're not gonna try and convince you that Wolverine and Deadpool are hiding on Tony Stark's ship back to Earth. Now let's dive right in. Nebula has had quite the journey through the MCU. Starting out evil like her big and bad daddy Thanos, she has shown a little compassion underneath her android armor, and seemed to come almost full circle as she realizes Thanos' actions may just be a little too evil. And while the MCU has drifted away from the OG Marvel comics plenty of times, some theories claim that Marvel Studios may go back to the Infinity War ending to have Nebula's story go full circle. In the comics, she gained control of the Infinity Gauntlet and reversed all of her father's actions. In the comics, the quick reversal also unleashed other villains, like the whole cosmic pantheon. So who knows how much good Nebula will do if she is too focused on killing her father and avenging her dead sister Gamora. The dusting of our heroes in the Avengers Infinity War may have sparked the end of Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And while it's most likely temporary, if there's anything Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse taught us, it's that a single movie definitely has room for more than one Spider-Man. But what are we getting at here? A theory about Cindy Moon, one of Peter's classmates in Spider-Man Homecoming, has emerged. Cindy was also on the bus when the aliens invaded New York City, and in the comics, she was bit by the same radioactive spider as Parker. Her transformation into the hero known as Silk could bring some big-time help to the Avengers, and add a nice subplot to Spider-Man Far From Home when it's released this summer. Once Peter Parker comes back to life, we can see how he shares the spotlight with another Spidey hero trying to claim his territory. The one advantage she has? A much stronger Spidey sense. One of the more striking images in the first Avengers Endgame trailer, well, besides Hawkeye's emergence as Ronin, was the Thanos armor set up on his space farm. The armor was set up to look like a scarecrow, but we imagine the symbolic gesture was created to do a little bit more than just scared some three-eyed alien birds away from his outer space crops. Could the Thanos scarecrow mean the Warriors had a change of heart and is retiring from his non-stop carnage? Well, if you follow the world of boxing, this is exactly what it could mean. Thanos hung his armor up much like a retired boxer hangs up their robe and gloves. Thanos is tired, killed his own daughter, and then wiped out half the universe's population. Get the wine ready. This boy is primed and ready for a big bad retirement. We have to wonder which Avenger will try and pull him back in for one more match. Our bets are on Thor. Well, this may seem a little obvious, but considering the brief moment in the trailer, we couldn't help but notice an important detail. Shuri got dusted. T'Challa's little sister was an integral part of Infinity War, but we never cut back to see her fate once all of the heroes started turning to dust. After T'Challa disappeared, we thought for sure Shuri would survive, but the movie never told us otherwise. Would she live to help rule Wakanda? Speculation rose up until the faithful trailer when her image appears above the computer screen and the devastating single word, missing. There is a tiny glimmer of hope considering Scott Lang was pictured right next to her, and clearly the hero known as Ant-Man was not part of the death count. Even though Shuri may not have had quantum realm access, she may have stayed hidden deep in Wakanda to keep her on the list of the Avengers' missing people. And whether Shuri is dead or not, she will appear in the Avengers Endgame, and it could be like we've never seen her before if one theory turns out to be true. While T'Challa is still collecting his dust particles together, Shuri will step up and become the new Black Panther. After seeing her stuck in the science lab for all this time, it will be awesome to see her in her own Black Panther costume, and kicking butt along the way. Her tech knowledge would be incredibly useful to the whole Avengers team, especially if they're entering the quantum realm again and need some special suits to help navigate their way through space and time. Of course, her role as the Black Panther would only be temporary, handing over the reins to T'Challa when he returns, and setting up the future with the Black Panther 2 hopefully coming within the next couple of years. Thanos clearly proved he was too much for the Avengers as he succeeded in Infinity War, and is looking for even more action in Endgame. But he may not be the greatest threat to the team. So how do we know this? It's all thanks to some early toy releases for the movie. Nothing like browsing the toy aisles for some key movie spoilers. All those cash cow products are finally worth something. Well, the new figures for characters like Rocket, Thor and Captain America refer to a, quote, greater threat the team will come against. What could be more powerful than Thanos and his Infinity Gauntlet? Ronan making a big comeback? Nah, just kidding. It has to be someone even greater. Perhaps one of the biggest Marvel villains of all time, Galactus. The cosmic entity could prove to be a major threat to the surviving half of the universe and all of the heroes we have remaining. It's kind of hard to keep one of the biggest sequels of all time under wraps when you need to do national casting calls to help a big collection of minor roles. For Endgame, the Russo brothers needed a lot of extras, and dressed in their Sunday best. Yep, we're talking about a funeral here. But who exactly is it for? And why are there so many people attending? Well, there's multiple options. An Endgame montage could showcase the after effects of the decimation, global funerals for those who had to sweep their loved ones up and put the dust inside an urn. A massive funeral may be held near the end of the movie if one of our big heroes like Iron Man or Captain America passes away. The biggest question during these funeral scenes will be who cries more, us watching or the paid extras on the big screen? After missing out on the Infinity War, Hawkeye makes his big return for Endgame, and losing half of Earth's population still didn't prevent him from taking time to stop at the salon and get a whole new look. But if the theories are right and comic book history proves to be true, then Endgame will feature Hawkeye like we've never seen him before, transformed into the sword-wielding Ronin. But why would Hawkeye transform into the hero who travels alone? Our best bet is the decimation took out his whole family, leaving him bitter, angry, and ready for some Kill Bill swordplay style revenge. The trailer also seems to indicate Black Widow is trying to reel him in to come and finish the fight by teaming up with the remaining Avengers. But who knows how the loose cannon will react after getting placed on house arrest due to the events of Captain America: Civil War. During Infinity War, we learned that Thanos' mission was to bring balance to the universe. We assumed that when he snapped his finger, half of the universe was just killed off. But what if Thanos had grander plans in mind? In a sci-fi bending story, what if Thanos actually ripped reality in two, creating a multiverse with two universes which were both evenly split? This may be one of the more far-fetched Endgame theories, but it could help explain the return of many of our heroes. The quantum realm could serve as the link between the two worlds, allowing our heroes to come up with a plan to reunite the universes back into one again. Not only would it be great to see what life is like in the second universe, but it could give Thanos a little more humanity for the actions he caused with the powers of the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos' actions during Infinity War were driven by a mission to help bring balance to the universe. But in the comic books, he also had a deeper motivation: love. Obviously not love for his daughter Gamora, as he easily sacrificed her, but love in the form of Lady Death. Thanos' ultimate goal in eliminating half of all life was to impress Lady Death and woo her even. Theories have popped up online that Lady Death could make an appearance during Endgame, or at least get mentioned by Thanos as we learn more about his character. While we probably won't get a full-on love song montage, extending the development of the villain will only help increase his depth and motives from the first movie. One of the most epic moments during Infinity War was when Thor flew through the sky and smashed the Stormbreaker axe into the chest of Thanos. The brutal move was great, but Thanos only taunted Thor for his actions, claiming he should have gone for the head as the chest shot still gave the Mad Titan a chance to snap those fingers together. The line has not only become one of the most memorable moments in the movie, but could lead to one of the biggest payoffs in cinematic history. Many theories have pointed to Thor's eventual victory over Thanos, mainly by slicing off the big purple head and watching it roll to its miserable death. Thor will not make the same mistake twice, and the God of Thunder will most certainly be looking to embark on some PG-13 beheading action. We've seen the Avengers take on Thanos in his prime, and with multiple tag team partners in the form of Infinity Stones. But a much younger Thanos could find himself going up against some time-traveling Avengers. Time traveling seems to be one of the biggest themes in Endgame trailers, and all the signs are pointing to some interference in earlier battles. Set rumors have already surfaced about the New York battle in the movie, and some toy boxes showcase time-traveling white suits for characters like the Hulk and Thor. Taking on a younger Thanos would bring a huge advantage for the team. He wouldn't be equipped with every Infinity Stone. The team could initiate a surprise attack, and the actions in the past could have a direct impact on the future. But traveling in the past does mess with the timeline a lot, so it will be interesting to see how the Avengers can handle their own Days of Future Past. One of the more interesting casting choices in the upcoming Endgame was for the role of Cassie Lang. In both Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Cassie was a young girl, but Endgame is looking to hire a teen for the role. Now, a young teen could just show the passage of time between Infinity War and Endgame, but an older teen could indicate a number of different things. We may see a bigger time jump than anyone expected. 4 or 5 years later would put some things into perspective and showcase just how long these heroes have gone on with the major losses on Earth. Cassie Lang may also make a heroic debut as Stinger, a hero with the ability to shrink and grow just like her father. Introducing Cassie as a new hero would likely be saved for a possible third Ant-Man movie, but anything could happen in the epic Endgame sequel. How do you redeem a man who's killed off half the universe? Star-Lord wouldn't even forgive him for killing Gamora. Well, if plans fall into place, then a popular theory could see Thanos seeking redemption by saving the rest of the survivors on Earth. As far-fetched as it sounds, a greater threat posed to the Avengers could force Thanos to reluctantly team up with them, mostly just to save himself and maybe his precious space farm. While it would be a little jarring to see Thanos on the same side as the Avengers, a proper setup could end up working for the team and help bring the Thanos story full circle. With a rumored runtime of around 3 hours, Thanos has plenty of time to come around and have us all forgive him for the decimation. Once the ultimate enemy is defeated, our heroes can get proper justice against Thanos. Even you, Star-Lord. Thanks to contracts, rumors, and interviews, Endgame will likely mark the end of the era for some of our core heroes, including Thor, Captain America, and of course, Iron Man. Even though Robert Downey Jr. may be leaving the MCU, one theory has found a way to allow Tony Stark to live on, and make things a little more manageable for Downey to stick with the cinematic universe. Even if he dies, Tony Stark's voice could live on in Spider-Man's suit, acting as a digital mentor and assistant to Peter Parker. Peter was already trained and guided by Tony, so it would make sense that he would help him, even in the afterlife. We're pretty sure Happy Hogan has some tricks up his sleeve to help get this done in case Tony Stark does die due to the events of Endgame. Before we lost hero after hero during the closing moments of Infinity War, MCU deaths were mainly relegated to defeated villains. Tony Stark's parents, or old age a la Agent Carter. One death which sticks out among them all is Quicksilver. The speedster and brother of the Scarlet Witch met his demise in the Avengers Age of Ultron, but we may see him return for the sequel. The appearance could be a quick flashback cameo, or the resulting shifts in the timeline could reverse his death and allow him to speed to the future. Either way, his time in the MCU was clearly too short-lived, and adding a speedster to the mix is a great way to offer different powers for the character. Now let's see if the protective Big Brother will approve of the Scarlet Witch's relationship with Vision. We've seen Captain America make the ultimate sacrifice for Earth plenty of times. In the first Avenger, he plunged into icy waters. In the Winter Soldier, he plunged into frigid waters. And now with Endgame approaching, expect Captain America to once again put his life on the line. And probably involve some type of water, somehow. Cold water. All signs are pointing to Captain America's death in the movie, and trailers have shown he's nearly reached his emotional breaking point due to the decimation. Not only may Captain America perish, but someone new may take the role of the Shield. Bucky could honor his longtime friend, or maybe the Falcon will trade in his wings for the red, white, and blue costume. Either way, we imagine the mantle of Captain America will live on in some form. Emily Van Camp's Peggy Carter could even return to mourn for the man in her life. While all the signs point to Captain America's death, theories have stated he won't be the only Avenger falling. It cannot be a coincidence that all of the original Avengers managed to survive the decimation. To help get the return of their friends, the team may reform and decide to create some sort of trade. The original Avengers for the return of everyone else. Of course, we're not sure exactly how this will play out, but Doctor Strange probably has a good idea and knew exactly where the future would lead as his body turned to dust. Transitioning into the next stage of the MCU only makes sense as we bid farewell to our original Avengers and transition into a new era of heroes. But don't worry, in Hollywood everything comes full circle, and there's bound to be some type of Iron Man or Captain America reboot in the future. Man, Thor gets some of the coolest weapons. We were shocked to see the trusty Mjolnir crushed to pieces in Thor Ragnarok, but quickly forgot about that hammer when Thor yielded the Stormbreaker during Infinity War. Could the God of Thunder be back with a bigger and better weapon for Endgame? We certainly hope so. Peter Dinklage signed up for 2 MCU films, and all signs are pointing to Endgame as his second appearance. If Thor returns to visit Eitri, he may seek out an even bigger and better weapon to help destroy Thanos, or other threats coming his way. Thor and the Avengers may also enlist Eitri to craft another Infinity Gauntlet as they begin their time-traveling adventures trying to collect some stones from the past. Either way, Thor and giant weapons are always a great time, and we look forward to all of his action scenes. Seeing what a cash cow the Avengers has made for Disney, we imagine the group name and team-up movies aren't going anywhere soon. So expect to see some type of new group form after the veterans have either perished or gone their separate ways. And right now, there are plenty of heroes who can lead the pack right into the next phase of Marvel films. We imagine the new Avengers to consist of heroes like the Black Panther, Ant-Man, the Wasp, the Scarlet Witch, the Falcon, and possibly Captain Marvel. The dynamics of the new group could lead to all new storylines, great moments, and plenty of big screen action to feast upon. Even if we do lose a lot of our favorite heroes, there will be plenty of new ones to cheer on, root for, and celebrate in the future of the MCU. As long as Disney keeps producing those movies, we'll be along for the ride.